Alright, let's make a positive video because the last two videos I did were pretty negative. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the 5 characters that are just impossible to hate. These characters are just so likable and so lovable that it's just weird to associate the word hate to them. By the end of the video, make sure you guys let me know what you guys think about my list, and if you enjoy these kind of videos, make sure you drop a big thumbs up and subscribe for more Mortal Kombat content from me. With that being said, let's get on with the video. The first character is Sub-Zero, specifically Kuai Liang. He's one of the few Mortal Kombat characters whose character personality has remained consistent between the original timeline and the new timeline. His story in every game has pretty much been setting things right. He comes from an assassin clan, and when he was introduced at MK2, he wasn't there to kill anybody. He was sort of just there because it was his job to do so. After Bi-Han died, he was put in to finish the work, and he was a team player. And in the original timeline, Scorpion immediately recognized that the Sub-Zero that he saw at the MK2 tournament was not the same Sub-Zero that he killed in MK1, because according to the lore, Kuai Liang spared an opponent. And since MK2, his stories have been revolved around reforming and restoring the Lin Kuei, making them a better clan than when he was first in there, doing everything he can to reach his brother and restore his brother even though it was never successful. That drive and loving brotherly care is just such a good trait for him. And in the new timeline, he's making peace with Scorpion, and he's just being a chill dude around the kids and training a new generation of fighters. I mean, what's not to like about Kuai Liang Sub-Zero? Again, he has been very consistent in both the original timeline and the new timeline, and I honestly can't get enough of it. It never gets old. The second character that just cannot be associated with the word hate is Havoc. This character is the most enjoyable troll in the entirety of Mortal Kombat. One of the first interactions that you have with Havoc in the Mortal Kombat Deception Conquest mode is him training you by trying to kill you. And the reason why he was doing that was because he hates structure and orderly forms. He was doing it in a chaotic way because he's from Chaos Realm. And he basically tells Shujinko, hey, I'm from Chaos Realm. What do you expect from the ways of chaos? And then he also adds on, but hey, if you gave me the opportunity to kill you, I would have taken it. And even with all of that, he helps Shujinko on his quest by giving him the key that he needs. Like, this guy is so ridiculously funny and so interesting. How can you hate that character? There's a nice charm with the type of character that visually looks very evil and menacing, but the actual characterization is just a laughable and likable troll. And sometimes even a nice guy. I mean, he had an important hand in helping the Earthrealm heroes defeat Onaga, and the only reason why he did that was because he realized Onaga was going to rule all the realms, and he didn't want a ruler above all. He wanted the realms to continue fighting and continue to be, well, chaotic. The next character I want to talk about is Smoke. Smoke's story is one of tragedy. In the original timeline, Smoke along with Sub-Zero are the only two Lin Kuei members that just do not want to be a cyborg. And Sub-Zero is the one who ends up escaping, and Smoke is the one that ends up getting captured. And then he's turned into a robot killing machine. But he's also in a constant battle within himself. He still believes that there is a soul within him that's still alive. And he doesn't want to be a cyborg. He just wants to be freed. And you just can't help it. You have to feel bad for the guy when you know about that story. And it sucks knowing that in the original timeline, we never really got to see Sub-Zero and Smoke reconnect. Because remember, Smoke is Sub-Zero's best friend. And in the new timeline, the writers sort of tried to do the same thing, but instead of Smoke becoming the cyborg, Sub-Zero is the one who becomes the cyborg, and we all know that was trash. And also in the new timeline, all of a sudden Cyrax is taking Smoke's story and being Sub-Zero's best friend. Like, what? That was never a thing in the original timeline. And Smoke is just left in the Netherrealm, and Sub-Zero is never mentioning Smoke ever again. Smoke fans, such as myself, cannot get a break. I really hope for the next game they finally do the Sub-Zero and Smoke story that we've all been waiting for. The next character I know a lot of people agree with me on is Fujin. Especially Fujin in MK11. He's such a loving guy. He's a god, one of the protectors of Earthrealm, but he loves to spend time among the Earthrealmers. But whenever he needs to be stern, he will be stern at the appropriate time. But he's not always like that. Most of the time, he's very empathetic, he's very relatable, and he's very kind. I mean, if you've lived for eons, how can you not be very close with the people that you've been spending the most time with? In that scene in Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath where he was basically telling Jax, Mortal Kombat is not about death, but life. It just makes me so happy that at the very least Fujin is saying that kind of stuff when Raiden isn't, even though Fujin's entire characterization in Mortal Kombat 11 has always been Raiden's original characterization, and they shied away from that in MK9 and he really hasn't been the same since. But again, I'm glad at the very least that character personality is on Fujin, because it just makes Fujin all the more better. The last character that I believe is the face of the universally loved characters is none other than Johnny Cage. No matter what game he's been, especially in the NetherRealm era, he always brings life into the game with his quips, with his jokes, and all of his humor. You can't help but to smile and laugh at the exploding charisma that Johnny Cage always brings to the table. But he's not just the joke character, he's got a real story too. In the original Mortal Kombat game, he joined the tournament because he wanted to prove to everybody that he was the real deal with his fights and his movies. And in the NetherRealm era, it was great to see Johnny Cage mature and be a little bit more serious and take life seriously. Starting a relationship and going through a rocky relationship with Sonya, and raising a kid and training a kid, but never ever losing his sense of humor and losing his charisma. NetherRealm created a perfect balance with doing something different with Johnny Cage and his characterization, but still staying true to what makes Johnny Cage special. And because of that, it benefits him so much. I mean, just ask yourself, do we really want to see a Mortal Kombat game where Johnny Cage is not there? I don't think anybody does. And if you do, I'm sorry, but you're just trying to be edgy and cool. And you're just not. And there you guys have it. Those are the 5 characters that are just impossible to hate. And if you hate any of these characters for whatever reason, I'm just gonna assume you have very weird and probably bad taste. Remember to smash that like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe so you never miss a Mortal Kombat video from me. I'll see you guys in the next video.